Well, most of what I do on these Dr. Bike sessions is working with really awful old stuff that's half broken. The uni sessions are every week on a Thursday from 12 to 2. We have several locations and it just is on a rota, kind of goes around. I always advise people to check the website. Usually I can do about 12 in a 2-hour session. The idea is that you're kind of giving like a doctor's checkup as we try to make a bike safe and hopefully also pleasurable to ride. Something quite satisfying about getting a really awful bike to work. It's usually what we can do to make it safe in 10 minutes. If we can't make it safe in 10 minutes, then I stick a note on it and say it needs to go to a shop. You can replace brake cables and gear cables and brake pads. Pump up the tyres, lube the chain, make sure it shifts more or less. And give a lot of advice a lot of the time as well. In this case, this person's been riding around with a flat tyre at some stage. The brake doesn't work because there's a reflector holding it. But people just kind of go along and kind of think, yeah, that's just the way bikes are. But it's not the way bikes are. Bikes don't need to have this reflector that makes the front brake not work. Yeah, I think that if I weren't here to do this, I think that a lot of the students would just continue to ride on flat tyres and rusty chains with no brakes. And to be honest, it's not even only the students. Academic staff usually have worse bikes than the students. The cost of cycling, if you're to think about it just in terms of commuting as having one bicycle, then cost isn't actually very huge at all. Cycling is quite good because it is low impact, and it's also an endurance sport, and endurance sports are meant to be very good for your circulatory and heart and breathing. If you want to look at it from an environmental point of view, then it is also quite good because you're not burning fuel. Congestion, I mean, we all like walking in the middle of the street late at night after being out at a pub when there's no traffic. And you've got into your little street, no traffic, you can walk down the middle of the road. If everyone rode bikes, that's what it would be like as well every day, all day, every day, because traffic is pretty much pedestrian but going faster. I like cycling because a lot of us have our first memory of freedom tied to a bicycle. When we were little tiny kids, the first time we're able to move fast or to move away from our parents usually is connected to a bicycle. So you kind of get to have like this sort of base childlike pleasure of being able to go fast powered by your own legs. I think it's quite useful to help some people actually have a safe bike.